just a few moments. For the safety of our trainers and animals, please remain seated throughout the presentation and stay off the concrete area surrounding the pool. If you have to leave while the show is in progress, we ask that you walk up the stairs and exit at the top gates. Now, please put your hands together for the trainers of Oceans of Fun.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys all doing today?
Yeah.
Hey, that was pretty good, but I am going to let all of you know that our animals here, they actually do know exactly what the sound of your applause means. So our energy and enthusiasm you guys all have today, they actually really do pick up on that. So can we try this one more time? How are you guys all doing today? Much better. That is exactly what we were looking for. I'd love to formally welcome you all to the Hersheypark Aquatheatre. Here we are currently the home to 5 harbor seals and 3 California sea lions. We are a facility dedicated to the field of marine mammal science and education. And this just means that we focus on animal care and educating the public about marine life, the environment, and conservation, all with the help of some very special Flipper friends. Now speaking of Flipper friends, it does look like our first star has joined us, so I would love to introduce her to you all. She is one of our female Atlantic harbor seals, and she is very special to us because she was the very first and only marine mammal that's ever been born here at the Aquatheatre. So because of that, we did have to give her a very fitting Hersheypark name. This summer, she just turned 6 years old. Can you all put your hands together for Coco? Very nicely done, Coco. Excellent job. Like I said, Coco is an Atlantic harbor seal. Later in our show, you are going to meet our sea lions. But a lot of people do commonly confuse seals with sea lions. While they are very closely related, there are 3 easy ways to tell them apart that I'd love to highlight for you today with the help of Coco. And she was just showing off the first difference, and that is definitely one of the easiest ways to tell them apart. It is how they move right up here on land. So you may have noticed when Coco moves, Coco is going to spend her entire life on land on her stomach. So anytime a seal moves somewhere, they're going to contract their strong stomach muscles to interscoot across the land. They look a little bit like an overgrown caterpillar when they move. And you guys have the right idea. Coco's doing fantastic so far today. Can we put our hands together for her? Very nicely done, Coco. As sea lions, they do move much differently on land than a seal does. A sea lion has an adaptation called a rotating hip bone. So sea lions are able to take their hind flippers, they can tuck them up underneath their bellies, and they can walk or even run very efficiently on all 4 of their flippers. Now the second difference between seals and sea lions is in their front flippers. So a seal like Coco, she was just showing off for us there, they do have very small front flippers. Theirs are only about the size of a human hand. Seals use these more for steering through the water. While they get all the power in their hind flippers, they fan them out, move them back and forth in a motion called sculling, and they can reach a burst speed of about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Now Coco is showing off those front flippers by using those to get those football in a behavior called otter that she is working on. She is doing an amazing job showing that off. Can we put our hands together for her? Very nicely done, Coco. Sea lions, they do have very large and powerful front flippers. Fully grown, theirs are about the length of a human arm. Sea lions use these to propel themselves through the waters, and they can reach a burst speed of 20 to even 25 miles per hour. Now the third difference between seals and sea lions is actually pretty small, so you do have to look a little closely for it. It is in their ears. So a seal like Coco, if you look closely, she has internal ears. So all you're really going to see on Coco is a small hole or bump about 1 inch behind her eyes. Now sea lions, they do have external ear flaps called external pinnae that are very visible on the sides of their heads. Now hopefully, with Coco's help today, you'll never confuse another seal or a sea lion. And Coco did an amazing job showing off those differences. Can we make it nice and loud for her? Very nicely done, Coco. Seals and sea lions, they are incredible animals because they're able to live both in the water and on land. They're very flexible and agile animals, and they are so successful due to a few adaptations that I would love to highlight for you today. The first one is simply the shapes of their bodies. So you look at Coco, or really any of our animals, use a little bit of your imagination. They are shaped a little bit like torpedoes, where they're bigger in the middle and smaller on the ends. This is what we call a hydrodynamic body shape. they're able to use this to cut through the water easily without wasting a lot of time or energy. Now, Coco is demonstrating that with a natural behavior called porpoising. She did fantastic showing that off for us. Can we put our hands together for her? Very nicely done, Coco. Now, another adaptation are those whiskers that she has on the sides of her face. These whiskers have specialized nerve endings at the end called vibrissae that they are able to use to sense vibrations in the water. They can actually voluntarily extend and retract their whiskers, so if they're ever in any dark and murky waters and can't really see what's going on around them, they can still use these to sense if there's any predators or prey nearby. Another adaptation all seals and sea lions have is actually just their flexibility. Both seals and sea lions are very flexible animals and are able to bend themselves almost entirely in half. This is because they do lack a clavicle or a collarbone, and they have a few extra vertebrae in their spine. This flexibility really helps them out in the lab with making sharp turns, which allows them to avoid their predators while also finding their prey. Now, Coco really did do an amazing job out here today. You're going to notice we gave her some ice cubes as well as some fish pops, which are little pieces of fish frozen in ice, just to let Coco know that she did a fantastic job today. We can also let her know by putting our hands together. Can we make a nice one for Coco? Very well done, Coco. Now, it does look like our next star is joining us, so I would love to introduce him to you all. He is one of our male Atlantic Harbor seals, and this summer he just turned 5 years old. Can you guys all put your hands together for Co? Very nicely done, Co. Excellent job. Now, play behavior is very important for a juvenile animal. It's where they're going to build up the strength and skills as well as the reflexes needed to survive as an adult out in the wild. And training is a really wonderful learning game for our animals. And play behavior is not only important for our juvenile animals, it also helps our adults to get the physical and mental stimulation that they need on a daily basis. So what we're going to do right now is turn down my microphone and turn up some fun music and allow you to watch these two playing together. But remember that Cove does know exactly what the sound of your applause means. So anytime you see something you like, make sure you put your hands together, make it nice and loud for Cove. excellent job showing off those play behaviors for you guys. Now, it is very important to remember that all the interactions you are seeing here today, they are only made possible by professional trainers working each and every day with these animals to build a strong and trusting relationship. It is actually a law that out in the wild, you must remain at least 100 yards away from any wild marine mammal and never attempt to feed or touch them. That is not only for your safety, but also for the safety of the animals, as human interaction in the wild can be very detrimental to their health. Cole really did do a fantastic job out here today. Can we give him a final round of applause? Very nicely done, Cole. Now, as we get our next star ready for you, I do just want to take this time to talk about a few exciting opportunities we are going to be offering directly following our show today. If you are interested in getting a little more up close and personal with one of our stars, we are going to have our feed and our photo programs. If you're interested in either or both of these programs, you can just stay seated in the bleachers directly following our show today, and then we'll get back on the microphone to talk to you more about pricing and details for those programs. Now, it does look like our next star is joining us, and I am very excited to introduce him to you all because he actually just came back here a little over a week ago. He was actually one of the first sea lions that came here with our company. And for the past 8 years, he's actually been at one of our sister facilities, and he just rejoined us here. Now, he is our 20-year-old male California sea lion. Right now, he is weighing close to 400 pounds. This is only his second weekend back in shows. Can you make it nice and loud for Diego? Very nicely done, Diego. Excellent job. Like I said, Diego's a California sea lion, so look for those differences I talked about earlier between him and our first two stars. He has those ear flaps on the side of his head, he has very large and powerful front flippers, and he is able to walk or run on all 4 of his flippers. And one of the most important aspects of all of the training that we do here is what is called husbandry care. It's very important that we're able to examine our animals on a daily basis. That way we can make sure that they are staying nice and healthy. So we train our animals to present their eyes, ears, nose, their flippers like Diego was just showing off, even the tips of their tails to us on a daily basis. That way, if they ever actually do need any medical attention, that can be done in a very calm and restraint-free manner. So some husbandry behaviors that our animals know how to do are laying out for x-rays and ultrasounds. Diego's showing off he can open his mouth up nice and wide. We can make sure everything looks nice and healthy in there. We can actually brush their teeth on a regular basis. They can even lay out for voluntary blood samples from their hind flippers. Diego's doing an excellent job showing off these behaviors. Can we put our hands together for him? Very nicely done, Diego. Now, all of this husbandry care really does go a long way in extending the lifespan of our animals. Out in the wild, seals typically live to about 20 to 25 years old, whereas sea lions live to be about 10 to 15 years old. But in professional care, both seals and sea lions can live to their 20s, their 30s, and some seals even to their early 40s. Like I said, Diego is 20 years old, so he's already past what they would be expected to live out in the wild. This is definitely thanks to all that excellent husbandry care we can provide for them. They never have to worry about any predators or pollution in their pool. They get as much of that tasty fish as they could ever want. Diego's doing incredible. Can we make it nice and loud for him? Very nicely done, Diego. As sea lions like Diego, they do gather in large groups on beaches called rookeries. And these rookeries can be very noisy places. Male sea lions will vocalize to announce and defend their territories, whereas female sea lions will vocalize to find their pups on crowded beaches. Every single sea lion has their own unique vocalization. I was wondering if Diego would like to show us off for us today. Very well said, Diego. Can you keep that applause going for him? Very nicely done. Now, seals and sea lions, they are what are called opportunistic foragers. So that really just means that out in the wild, they're really just going to eat any fish that they can find. They really can't afford to be picky, so they're really just going to eat any fish that they can find. If you're at the Aquatheatre, we do feed them 2 different types of fish right now. We feed them capelin and herring, and how much our animals eat really does depend on a lot of factors. A smaller animal like our seals that you met earlier, they don't need as much food as a larger animal like Diego, for example. The time of year also plays a role in how much they eat. In the summer, their diets naturally decrease. They don't need as many calories. In the winter, their diets naturally increase. They're building up that layer of fat or blubber that keeps them nice and warm. But they can eat anywhere from 5 to 30 pounds of fish every single day. Diego can actually still hear you back there. He did an incredible job today. Can we put our hands together for him? Very nicely done, Diego. Like I said earlier, we gave some of our seals some ice cubes over there. We gave Diego some ice cubes in the back as well. A lot of our animals really enjoy ice cubes. Like I said, it's a really good form of reinforcement just to let them know they did a fantastic job today. It's also a really good form of hydration for our animals as well. They do live in a saltwater environment, so just like you and I wouldn't want to drink salt water, it would just make us more thirsty. It does the same thing for our animals as well. So they do actually get all of the hydration that they need from the fish that they eat, but being here in professional care with us, we can give them some extra hydration in the form of those ice cubes. Now it does look like our next star is joining us, so I would love to introduce him to you all. He is another one of our male California sea lions. Now Diego is 20 years old and about 400 pounds. This here is actually our youngest animal here. This summer he just turned 3 years old, and right now he is weighing about 190 pounds. Can you guys all put your hands together for Cruz? Very nicely done, Cruz. Excellent job. Now, Cruz actually did join us here about 2 years ago from the New York Aquarium. Like I said, he is only 3 years old, but he has learned a lot since he's been here with us. A lot of people commonly wonder how we train our animals. We do use a technique called bridge and target training. Our bridge is that clicker that you can see worn around our trainer's left wrist. And if you've been listening closely throughout our show today, you've probably been hearing a lot of clicks coming from it. That simply tells our animals that in that exact moment, they did a great job, and their reward is coming soon. To target just simply means to touch. Cruz did a fantastic job with that. Can we put our hands together for him? Very well done, Cruz. Now, Cruz is showing off what targeting is. Target just means to touch, so we teach all of our animals from a very young age to target or touch the tip of their nose, or really any body part, to either a trainer's closed fist or a target pull like Cruz is showing off right now, which is really just a stick with a buoy on the end. We can use this to shape and guide our animals' behavior, positively reinforcing them every single step of the way. And then over time, we can fade these targets away and communicate just using our hands and our voices. Cruz has been doing amazing showing off our training process. Keep that applause going for him. Very nicely done, Cruz. Now we also use a lot of positive reinforcement here with all of our animals. And that just means that every time they do something correct, they're gonna get a reward for it. As I'm sure you can tell today, we definitely do use a lot of fish here. That is because it is our animal's primary form of reinforcement. We can also use a variety of secondary reinforcers, which is really just anything that our animals enjoy. It could be a toy they like to play with, a rub down from a trusted trainer. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of our animals really enjoy ice cubes, and why we ask so much of it. Even the sound of your applause is a really good reinforcement for our animals. So can we give Cruz a big reward today? Very nicely done, Cruz. Well, accredited zoos and aquariums like Ocean Connections and Zoo America, they play a pivotal role in saving species worldwide by inspiring conservational leadership. As human-caused obstacles like pollution, climate change, and habitat loss continue to affect all of our ecosystems, these accredited facilities have become safe havens for threatened and endangered species. If you'd like to learn more about how we provide exceptional animal welfare or our conservation efforts, we encourage you to check us out at oceanconnections.org or on any social media platform. Our Cruz can actually still hear you back there as well, and he did amazing. Can we give him a final round of applause? Very well done, Cruz. I really do just want to thank you all so much for joining us. If you guys have any questions today, our staff will be down here on the pool. We'd be happy to answer those for you guys. If you're enjoying the programs, again, just stay seated in the bleachers. And thank you all so much again for joining us. And please enjoy the rest of your day here at Hersheypark. Goodbye, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the show. At this time, we ask that you please exit using the top gates. If you have any questions, the trainer will be located at the bottom of the bleachers and will be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you for enjoying the show and enjoy the rest of your day here at Hersheypark.